welcome to another episode of the Butterfly Effect. I'm Dela.
I am Paula, never mind, Paula. From today on will be Felicia, but I'm Paula.
And I'm Colleen. Hi.
Nice to have you girls here again. And thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Butterfly Effect. Okay, I think, Felicia, you need some explaining to do.
Yes, I do. So, well, Felicia is actually my middle name, and I've always liked it. And I've been working with energy medicine for the past 17 years. And I've learned that names have resonance. And so I thought 2021, I started this challenge, and the challenge was called New Year, New You. So a thought came to mind that what if, instead of using Paula as my name to introduce myself and use it, I will use Felicia, which is a name that I've always liked. My mother also liked it very much. And test it out for a few years and see if, by using Felicia, anything will change for me internally, but also, to see how it resonates and what changes will happen by having this name instead of using Paula.
Perfect. Well, it's great to have you here, Felicia. It's going to be a little bit, difficult for us to remember that, not to call you Paula. You will forgive me, please, but I will try and remember to call you Felicia. Yes.
Look, I've actually said I'm Paula, so it's for me.
Well, it's so nice to be here again with you. I'm so excited to talk about this week's topic. I think it's so it's such a good topic especially for the month of February, because it has a lot to do with love and self-love. But specifically, I think because winter is really long, and sometimes we can really forget to take care of ourselves. So that's why I think the topic of self-care is such a fantastic topic. And so we're going to be discussing just what self-care is. What does it mean to you? And why is it important? And most importantly, is self-care selfish? Da, da, da. So, right? As always, we're going to ask our beautiful audience to please share their comments. And if you have any experience of your own, please share it with us, because we'd love to hear from you. And so if you are watching us, we don't know who you are, but if you drop us a line, we sure can see and say hello. So what do you say? We jump right in. Are you ready?
Do it.
Let's do this. Okay. All right. So, we always start our show with definitions. And so we want to know what the definition is. What's the definition you picked for a self-care, Colleen?
So I just picked a simple one because I think it's a simple explanation. You can make it more complicated, but it is really pretty simple. So self-care is the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health.
Okay.
So the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. So that is self-care.
Okay.
I think that the term self-care is pretty self-explanatory. So
yeah. And so when you read that, does it resonate with you?
It does. I think that, so self-care is anything that brings you joy or peace, or so what brings you a feeling of calmness or a feeling of happiness. So that anything that falls in that category can be self-care. So anything, and we can talk about it in a little bit more detail later, but so the different categories that you would look at. So whether it has to do with your health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, or your spiritual health. So those, for me, that's where you start. There's obviously a whole lot more, but that's a good place to start. How about you, Felicia?
Well, is the question what self-care means to me, or are we
Yeah,
asking questions regarding the actual definition per se?
Well, no, what does it mean to you?
So to me, it's the ability to take care of myself, to make myself, my health, my needs a priority in order to become the best version of who I am that will benefit not just me and those I love, but also the people that surround me. So it's like a personal health care, like, let's say, for example, if I'm not healthy and I'm suffering and I'm in pain and I'm exhausted most of the time, or I'm going in and out of depression and anxiety, and how can I possibly offer support to others in any way, even to myself in that matter?
Amazing. Yes, so true. It is so true, right? And so that brings us to this next word that we have here, selfish. Because, okay, so I don't know about your upbringing, your background, but I grew up with the belief that self-care was selfish. Mm-hmm. And so I think also I speak to a lot of women, especially women who also think the same, what maybe their beliefs in the past were the same things. And so tonight, we really want to explore this. And if you're one of those people who believe that taking care of yourself makes you a selfish person, perhaps you want to stick around to the very end and find out maybe you'll just have a different perspective. So what's the definition of selfish then, Colleen?
Selfish is lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Mm-hmm. So thinking of oneself primarily.
Yeah, and that sounds very negative, doesn't it?
It does. It does have a very negative connotation there. So, and I agree with you, Dela. There's, I think a lot of women, especially, and I think it still happens because I think we pass that on to our kids. Mm-hmm. But I think that women more than men think twice about doing something for themselves, right? Men are taught that is a strength to think of themselves. And women, a lot of us, and maybe not everybody, but I think a lot of women are told that, take care of the people around you. You're the nurturer. You're the, you know what I mean? So, and you feel guilt when you take time for yourself because it's ingrained in you that there's something selfish about it. And we're going to talk about it more in a little bit, but it is the opposite. Self-care is the opposite of being selfish. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, so true. What do you think, Felicia?
It's nice. I like the sound of it. Thank you.
Felicia.
So Felicia. So for me, for the longest time, actually, I lived my life believing that my life, my health, my inner peace, love, to one extent too, must be given to me by others. In other words, I really expected and had this demand on those around me, realizing, or rather not realizing, that it's really my own responsibility, not theirs. So now, listening to you ladies, I'm kind of wondering, was it because I was so oblivious about what was around me? Or was I really immature and ignorant in a way? And maybe selfish. Now that I think about it, it's funny. Like, yeah, like I'm kind of, what comes to mind right now, it's the age of know it all, 13, 14, maybe for others 17, when no matter what others say, you just feel and believe you know it all. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. This is funny, like where I wanted how I wanted to talk about this topic, and where I'm right now, it's like not at all planned.
So that, I mean, that's I think that's great. And I sort of kind of understand where you're coming from, because I think too, maybe part of the reason why I started self-care, why I started taking care of myself, was that I learned that the responsibility was all mine. So, in a way, relinquishing the responsibility of taking care of myself to the people around me helped me in staying in victimhood, because they were they were not responsible to take care of me, obviously, right? And so if they came in short, then it was like, well, poor me, right? Nobody loves me, nobody, and nobody takes care of me, and so I totally understand where you're coming from. So I think that was part of my growth. As I realized that everything is in my own power. I need to take control of my own health, my own well-being. Yes, Colleen.
So I agree with you 100%. And one of the things with my journey was to learn that I teach people how to put value on me. And if I put my self-care to the wayside, then I'm telling myself and the people around me that I have less value.
So good. It's all so intertwined, you guys. Right? So, it's so true.
It is very, very intertwined. And so being able to take that time for yourself is teaching yourself and the people around you that you are valuable, that you are important. And for me, that was a big lesson, because I thought that I was, it was better for me to be giving all the time. But then I felt depleted all the time, and I felt ignored, and like you said, almost victim like.
Yes.
And realizing that I have the power to make myself happy, and that actually helps the people around me. Like that was a huge lesson for me. A huge lesson.
Yes. So I want to come back to Felicia, because this is every time I say that, she laughs. She likes it. I think she likes it. So a lot of moms, a lot of parents are now living a more difficult life because of everything that's happening. People have had to wear different hats, and especially moms. You're now you have to clean, you have to cook, you have to do all these mom things. You have to work, and you also have to wear the teacher's hat. And I mean, you have 2 young kids at home. And so I know that's a part of your life right now. And so I speak to a lot of women who say, well, I don't have time to take care of myself. There's no time to take care of myself. So how are you dealing with that right now?
Honestly, this pandemic for me has been a complete blessing in disguise from many, many different aspects, and one of which has been to really help me understand how powerful choosing to take care of yourself can be for yourself and for others, and how empowering. So I go back to what Colleen said earlier. Through self-care, what we really are looking for to balance in our life is balance the health of our being on all levels: emotional, physical, psychological, spiritual, and those self-care may look different from one person to another. Ultimately, its result is more important than its difference or how we individually may get there. So, in other words, if your end result is health, harmony, and happiness, or joy, like Colleen was saying, with yourself and with others, then kudos to you. You mastered it. That's very much what it is. Because as I said, even in my first statement, if you are unhealthy, you can only give to others what you yourself have.
Yes.
So if you don't take care of yourself, if I don't take care of myself in these moments, I'm a single mother, right? And I do have youngers at home, and I have become that teacher. I'm the math teacher, the science teacher, the English teacher, the French teacher. I'm like just the teacher hat that I've never known that I could possibly wear and effectively use, like the hat, But I realized the importance of self-care through this pandemic more than so before. And what I really realized through it at all is that by setting up some new new routine, a new way of living, right? From being always inside, I had to really develop different habits to be able to care for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very much it.
And you touched on a very important keyword, and that's routines, right? That's routines are a big part of what we can do for self-care. And so let's just jump in. Okay, so I want to invite people who are watching us right now to leave us your comment. What is your ideal self-care? What do you do to take care of yourself? Or perhaps you have a totally different perspective. Yeah, we definitely want to hear from you. And so I have a comment here. There's nothing wrong with, once the kids are settled at the end of the day, leave the flippin' dishes in the sink, take a hot bubble bath with a good book. The dishes can wait till tomorrow. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I actually have no idea who this is. So here's the thing. When you use, I just noticed this, just for the viewer's sake, I just want to explain this. StreamYard is the platform we're using right now to broadcast live. And they have added a little option. If you're watching this show on Facebook right now, it will ask you to prompt a permission for StreamYard to show your name, your username. If you don't prompt to that, then we won't be able to see who you are. So that's just how it works. I think they've added that for privacy's sake. It's Tracy.
My Tracy or your Tracy?
Your Tracy. As I should have just asked. So thank you, Tracy. And you know what? Okay, so I gotta share this with you, because this is just such a big reminder of how we can set ourselves back just by the thoughts that we think. So one day I came home and I was like really tired, flippin' tired, Tracy. And so I had been gone all day. And so I think it was like 10 o'clock. Colleen's Tracy, she says. So 10 o'clock by the time I get home. So as I'm walking past the kitchen, I look through the door, and it was a mess. So like the counters were filled, and I saw my husband's watching TV, and my son was doing his own thing. So at that very moment, I had to make a big decision. Do I drop my purse and stomp into the kitchen and clean the dishes really loud so that everybody in the household could hear my anger? Which, by the way, would have been the old me. Or do I decide, okay, this is totally on me. The fact that I'm tired and frustrated is totally on me and is nobody else's fault. I have a decision to make. Do I take care of myself at this moment, or do I do what I have done for the past 40 some odd years? So I decided to drop it and do exactly what Tracy said. I went and got, oh my gosh, I took a hot bubble bath, and it I will never forget that experience. And we do that, guys. We do that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. We do what we need to do instead of what we want to do, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing we need to do is that sometimes is the thing we want to do is what we need to do.
Yes.
You
Yes.
agree?
Yeah. Yes. It's funny though, you mentioned the dishes, and for some people, not me, don't get me wrong, but for some people, doing those dishes is their part of their self-care.
Absolutely.
Right? So
Yes.
I don't understand that, but I accept that there are people out there.
And you're so right. You're so right, because that's a part of self-care for a lot of people is to have their environment clean and
Yes.
neat and super organized, and that's perfect. So how do we know? So okay, so I'm going to come back to both of you and Felicia first. And so, what are some self-care tools? So what do you do? What do you do to take care of yourself, Felicia? That that you wouldn't compromise.
Well, before I answer this question, I want to say that through this period, and I honestly, for the last 5 years, I've read this book called Boundaries. Okay, it's written by Dr. Henry Cloud. Sorry, sometimes
You've said that before. I still have to get around to reading that book.
So, what I realized that one of the most important in self-care is to have healthy boundaries. And without them, you will not know when to draw a line between what is your responsibility and what is the responsibility of your parents, of your kids, of your partner, and the list goes on, whatever relationships you have in your life. And if you are like me, born an empath, you will end up absorbing other people's negative energy and needs, and you will try to help them by enabling their irresponsible behavior, thinking you are doing them a favor when you're actually harming your own health because you keep on taking way too much under your care and paving that path for your loved ones that would leave them or even lead them into believing that they aren't responsible for anything because they have you. And in this case, a great example for me as a mom is with children. And if you ladies have children, but let's say somebody doesn't have kids, how they can relate to this is by thinking, who do I dearly love? And I actually will do anything to make them happy. Because you love so much and you do everything for these people. In this case, for me, is my children. I clean, I wash, I buy all the things they want, And we go beyond the time that these children actually need us. Because the truth of the matter is when they are newborns, all the way up to maybe even into toddler age, right? They are 100% dependent on us. So we don't have another option. But it's extremely important to teach them their responsibilities as they grow. So if we don't teach them how to be responsible for their own needs, then they become demanding and expecting all these things, right, that we do for them, believing that is their right to just receive if they are loved. Now, they end up going to the world, let's say, and others don't treat them quite the same. And they become depressed and anxious because they don't understand, why others don't love me.
Mm-hmm.
So this, I think, is transferable towards any relationship, as I said earlier. So to me, it's before you go ahead with the self-care routine, let's say, or developing a routine and habits that are healthy, I think it's important to understand how can you realize if you lack self-care or if you lack boundaries. I think that's very, very important. So how do we identify if we need boundaries or if we need self-care and we're not taking care of ourselves? So
that's a really good question. And I think that if you ask yourself, is there ever a time that I say yes when I really want to say no?
mm-hmm. That's one way
right?
to find out. Yeah.
So am I putting others before myself? And am I okay with that? Because sometimes it's okay to put somebody else's needs ahead of yours in that moment. But if it's happening consistently, then maybe it's time to take some time back for yourself. There's also, I wanted to, Dela, if we could maybe, before we go into the strategies, if we talk a little bit about why self-care is important.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely. And that was going to be my next question, because that's really, really important. What is the danger if we don't start taking care of ourselves?
Right.
Self-care is really, really important, especially when a crisis happens. And I think right now we're in the middle of a crisis, in the world, and so many things are changing, and our routines have changed, and we're constantly having to readapt. So yeah, crisis becomes even more important. Somebody said when you're in the middle of a crisis, you need to double up on self-care, especially those times when you feel like you don't have time for self-care. That's exactly when you need more of. So let's go there. But before we go there, I want to read a couple of comments. And I know, Colleen, that you have some shared comments of some of the viewers. So I want you to share those as well, if when you feel the time is right.
Yeah,
so,
whenever we're let's hear if there's comments today that we can address.
Okay, awesome. So it says here, my kids are all grown up and moved out. I live alone now, but I now permit myself to take my little breaks. I skip the dishes after a long day at work. I don't have any people to care for anymore other than work, 1 dog, 2 cats, and 2 horses. That's a lot of work. Regardless your tasks, if you feel the need for a bath break, you're allowed. And it's so important to just allow ourselves that, right? And not feel guilty about it. And so, I mean, it's just,
that's the key word. Take the guilt out of it. Just allow yourself that little pleasure.
Absolutely. And Umara's here. Hello, my darling. Umara is another single mom that can speak to a lot of this. And she says, great subject of conversation. Thank you, Umara. Please do share with us any self-care tips, anything that you have found helpful for you that can help our viewers. She says, I feel the body speaks from lethargy, pains, and aches. All we have to do, which is not easy, is to stop and listen. She's so right.
So you see, it's important to find or to identify where we lack boundaries and self-care, and also catch ourselves in order to recognize it, so we can transform that or work on it.
Yes.
So
yes.
In my case, I agree with Umara and Colleen, because there are some questions we can ask ourselves. So we can even ask, when was the last that you felt anxious or angry or sad or felt unappreciated, not just guilty? So if your answer is I feel those feelings at times, then bingo, this is it. That's how you know you do not take enough time to care for yourself, and you do not know what healthy boundaries are.
Yes.
So there is something that came to mind, actually. So let's look back, and this will tie back to what Colleen just said earlier about women in particular, and no offense to men, but I think we are built in a little bit different way, and we are also conditioned differently. So let's look back in time, maybe even 100 years ago. People weren't relating to one another the way we do now. Kids were simply working the land or the farm with parents without really asking questions. They just followed along. Parents never really learned how to teach or how to acknowledge this relational way of living life. And I think the challenge is when we confuse being relationship oriented, we, especially as women, with giving up our own needs for everybody else's needs. And I think the same goes with the word, nice versus allowing people to use you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
going back to boundaries.
the very first thing I learned when I went to my first coach was that being nice was killing me.
Yeah.
Always trying to be nice and not taking that was actually such a negative thing for me for the overall life. But so yeah, I totally get that.
Oh, you're so right. Okay, Colleen, you were going to give us some dangers of not.
Oh yes. So so with some of the stuff, Felicia, that's a weird one to switch your name out. Felicia said earlier about that we have to come from a place of abundance, right? And I think you may have worded it that way or slightly differently, and you said it again, Dela, when you were talking about that you have to come from a place of strength. You have to be, when you go on the airplane, the flight attendant always tells the safety precautions, and that oxygen mask has to go on you before you put it on the person beside you. And self-care ties into that very tight, very well.
That's it.
So, and the thing is it popped in my head, and this is sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. This is a drastic example, but would you take money from a homeless person?
No.
Right. And the reason why I say that is because you would not take from somebody who has less than you. So why do we give and give and give without making sure that we are strong in a position of strength before we give?
Oh, that's so good. No.
This is great because, guys, imagine this, okay? We buy a beautiful brand new car. And this is actually with some 100% how I feel about self-care. So let's say, I don't know, your favorite car. Let's say Tesla. I see so many on the street lately. I don't know why. It's not my favorite car by all means, but it's a beautiful car. I have a friend who drives it, and I've been the passenger, and I've enjoyed it. So let's imagine this. You have a brand new car, impeccably smooth, works 100%. It's brand new. Nobody has ever driven it. And you taking it, knowing that it's absolutely an amazing car, functions well, it's well done, everything is 100% top notch, okay? And now you start driving it without any stopping, except to put gas from time to time. You won't change its brakes. You won't change the oil. You won't change the tires. You keep on going, driving through seasons, changing and all, without any breaks in between. No maintenance, okay? Except stop, put gas on. What will happen to this beautiful, well-built new car? Would you agree that it will break apart?
Yes.
No matter how well it's built?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then why are we thinking that our health, our body, our mind, our emotions, our spiritual well-being, it's any different? We also need to refill and to maintain and to cleanse our bodies and ourselves from time to time.
Yes.
This is how I look at self-care. It is a huge priority because it rests upon your internal wisdom mechanism to function optimally, naturally. We are built that way, provided that we do take responsibility in maintaining it and honoring it. You know, how do we honor it? We eat well, nutritious foods, we not genetically modified, which is we are fully aware of what's happening around us with that food. Or, for example, I like this because, for example, exercising. Don't exercise just because you want to lose the weight. Exercise because you want to be healthy, mind, body, spirit. You want a healthy mind, you want a healthy body, you want healthy bones and functional, flexible muscles. You take care of your sleep, not because you're tired, but because you know that just the way you charge your battery at night of your phone or your computer when it dies, you also have to recharge your own batteries.
I like it, Felicia. I like it. I like it. Oh, true. Okay, so now we can see Tracy. Look.
Oh, hi,
I
Tracy.
want to see.
Thank you for opting into that thingamajig. Thanks so much. Okay, so Colleen, continue. You were on something.
Yeah, so I've got a few things here. So one of the things, I did a presentation last year about self-care for women leaders. And one of the things that I shared was when I used to work as the assistant manager at a bank, is I used to go to my staff all the time and say, guys, you got to take a break, like give yourself a little refresh and all. And I remember they would turn to me and say, but you don't take a break.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important that we take care of ourselves because we also set an example for the people around us. And just like we learned from our moms to always take care of others and to put ourselves on the back burner, we're teaching people around us that you're supposed to take care of other people before you take care of yourself. So what would it be like if we taught our children and, it just all the people that we love around us, that it's important for them to also take care of themselves?
Yes.
What gift would that be?
That would be that. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be totally different than the way I grew up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I do have a life example. I may have shared this with you. I think I've shared it so many times because it was just a big lesson to me. So years ago, maybe like 3-4 years ago, my mom said to me, as we're talking about a family member who wasn't feeling well, and um, she was ill, and the entire family was worried about her. My mom says, Dela, you really need to thank me. I said, why? She said, you need to thank me because I take such good care of myself. And back then, I didn't understand that. This, as I think I came out as mom, like, why do I need to thank you? This is ridiculous. And then later on, as I got wiser, I realized she's so right. Because if something were to happen to my mom, I'd be in so much trouble.
Mhm.
And so of course, by her taking care of herself, that's her way of also showing me love and respect.
I love that.
Right, it's so, and I just never forgot that, and I swear to you to this day, like, I'm so happy and I'm so thankful that she takes good care of herself, and as Paula said, like, she eats good food, and she's moving her body, and I mean, you can't give others what you ain't got. You said
Yes.
that, right? You said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So let's see. I mean, Tracy's just so wonderful in engaging with us. So she calls you her baby cutie sister.
Oh, Trace. Just so that you know, Tracy and I are the same age right now because we're only 10 months apart. For 2 months out of the year, we're the exact same age. So we're the same age, Tracy.
You're almost twinsies. That doesn't count.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So, Colleen, what were some of the comments of the people that had left us?
So I reached out. Yeah, I reached out over a couple days ago, and a couple of people. I said, "What does self-care mean to you?" And then Michelin said, "Salt baths, meditation, and quiet time." I can resonate with that.
Nice.
Jennifer, who is my coach, who I introduce her as the woman who saved my life. Jennifer said something that lights up your soul, which that resonates, I'm sure, with you, Miss Dela.
Yes.
Lisa said she had a little bit more of a paragraph, so I kind of summarized it too. She was talking about being grateful, having self-love, and compassion. So
Nice.
that for her is her self-care.
Okay.
Susie said honoring herself, resting, right? So taking care of her body, healing, and then in the afternote it said maybe a face and a hair mask from time to time.
Yes, yes.
So some pampering involved in
See,
it.
and how wonderful is it that everybody's self-care is so different, and it
Yes.
looks totally different. But I think it all comes down to whatever uplifts you, whatever empowers you,
Yes.
and gives you the strength that you need, rejuvenates you. And I think we can all agree that's what self-care does, right? And it empowers us to be better people. Tracy says, and a glass of wine.
Yeah. Yes, that Tracy. Yeah, Tracy. No, I like beer better, but anyway.
So what is self-care to you? What are some self-care things for you? Oh, Umara has left us something here. Caring is a part of being a human, but the pendulum may overswing towards others first and me later. And that's where the body and soul gives signs. I had centuries overcoming compliments. Well said. I worked out for years to look good, and weight bounced back like yo-yo until I started raising self-love while evaluating stability and tempering to create fun. Life is not that serious, and we forget. Um, I think she's so awesome. Votes for more fun. I'm always about having more fun, more fun. But wasn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Amara.
Yes, thank you, Omara. It's awesome. Okay, so what is self-care? What no, what not what is self-care? We already talked about what is self-care, but what are some examples of self-care for you in particular? Like what is it you do? If I gave you a list and I said, Felicia, give me a list of everything you do for you that categorizes as self-care. Tell me.
Okay, wait, whoa, whoa, wow, wow, wow. Oh my goodness, okay, I didn't expect that. Okay, so what do I do? I've learned to set boundaries. So what do I mean by that? I've learned to love myself and to kindly and lovingly say no to others.
Okay, so saying no.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what else?
What else I do? I have, for me personally, it's extremely important to have a very good night's sleep.
Okay.
Without that, I can't function. So I have set a very nice routine every night. I do certain things to just, for example, I turn off the Wi-Fi. I turn everything off that disrupts our energetical field and helps me sleep better. And before I go to bed, for example, I no longer am engaged in anything that keeps my mind busy with what happened during the day. And I also have a journal that I use every single night. And in fact, since COVID, I've taken this step further and I have invited my two girls that are home with me. And they also have journals. And what we do is before we go to bed, we say two things we're grateful for that happened that day.
Nice.
And then we end the day with a prayer, either for ourselves or for someone else. So I find that what that does is calming ourselves, our minds down, but also giving us this sense of gratitude of, you know what we have, it's enough. So that's one way. Another thing that's very, very important for me is to have faith. So I put my faith in the Almighty. And honestly, it's funny because I'm thinking so many people and friends have asked me lately, particularly, how do you manage, as a single mom and no family around to lean on, even for moral support? And honestly, I've learned that I am not alone, that I have a Father in heaven. For me, as you said earlier, this spiritual part of my being is extremely important.
Mhm.
And I study the Bible. I call the Bible my tool, um, my life guide, right? And I memorize verses such as, with God, everything is possible. So going through this and ensuring that I have a good night's sleep, and then waking up earlier than anybody else in the house so I can pray, I can stretch, I can exercise, and I can meditate. So I calm myself down and engage into the thinking of, okay, what do I want to accomplish today? What do I want to do? What will make me happy? What will make other people happy? That's how I start my day every day. And in fact, I joined the 5 a.m. club since May last year. And believe it or not, for all of my life, I was convinced I'm a night owl. I was convinced that nobody will ever change that for me. And I realized that that's not true. It depends. Sometimes we have to adapt and change with our circumstances and make the best of what we have, such that we honor who we are and we take care of ourselves and our needs. So those are some things that I've done.
I love that. Thank you so much. Um, great points. Okay. All right, Colleen, your turn.
So I realized today that it has been pretty much an entire year since the last time I got a manicure. That used to be one of my self-care things. Every month I would, my friend and I, we would get our nails done. We would go out for dinner and we'd go watch a movie together. And that was one of my very favorite self-care activities that I like religiously. Every 3 to 4 weeks we would go and do those three things. And so I just realized with COVID that it's been a year since we've been able to do that. So COVID has changed self-care for me. And more it's about, like you said, Paula, Felicia, getting enough sleep, being able to say no and without guilt or or having any qualms, say, you know what, today is a me day. If I want to sit and watch some chick flicks for the day, or you know what I mean, like whatever it is, if I need a break, I take it. I like to read, I like to learn things. So these are things that I do that in order to regenerate my energy and to find me again. So, and I love the pampering thing. So I can't wait till we can go out and do some pampering stuff where other people get to do my hair and other people get to do.
I know.
I want my hair.
What about you, Dela?
The things we took for granted.
I know, right?
Right? So, okay, before I go to mine, Tracy says snowshoeing in the forest, time alone, and appreciating my environment. So important. Journaling can give release, she says. So for me, I realized that a lot of my self-care has also changed. If say in the past, self-care to me meant going out and doing a shopping spree, that's not anymore making my priority list. So today I have different self-care. So first of all, I resonate with both of you for sure, and everybody else who said all of those things are on my list too, but some of the things that are not. So I rely a lot on my support system. So I have a lot of self-care in that. So once a week, I attend my Al-Anon meeting as often as I can. I have accountability groups that I work with, and you're part of my study group, Colleen. So that's my self-care.
Oh yes.
Feeding my mind, feeding my Al-Anon helps me feed my spirit. The study groups feed my mind. I have my volunteer work that also feeds me spiritually and emotionally and mentally. So I have all these like different self-cares. But one thing that I have that has changed my life, and you said it too, Felicia, is my gratitude
Mm.
attitude, my gratitude list. It's such a big part of my self-care, and so I actually feel it change my energy. So yesterday, for example, it was just not like I wasn't as energetic as I usually am. So and my mind was busy, so I just picked up my pen and my journal, and I started writing. And it took like 2 to 3 minutes to fill up that page with everything I felt blessed with at that moment. And when that page was finished, I mean, it was a totally different energy. I so believe in this, and it's so simple. It's not easy. It's not easy. And if you're watching this and you've never done that before, and you're like, that's just a bowl of right, just try it. Just try it,
Yeah.
and you'll see how it changes you. And another thing that I do for self-care is I spend a lot of time alone, um, just in my own space, and it gives me value for me. It just
Hmm.
it means I love myself by giving myself time alone. It means I love myself. And another thing I want to share with everybody, because it's just been so powerful for me, and I learned this from someone in the morning, and this was my 2021 goal, was I wanted to wake up with joy every morning. I want to wake up and say, I'm so excited. And so that's hard to do. So I learned that just by saying the words, you can change your vibration and your
Yes.
energy. So I wake up in the morning, and I really literally force myself to say, I love my life. I do.
Yeah.
I swear. I force myself. I love my life. And as soon as I say that, just I mean, everything changes for me.
Yeah.
So those are some of my self-care things. And so
One of one of the things I'm realizing is that as you're saying things, like Felicia was saying things, you're saying things, and I'm like, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I think that we have a lot more self-care activities that we don't even consider self-care,
it's true.
right? Like when I'm having a bad day, like if I'm having a hard time going to sleep because my mind is racing, I'll do a meditation.
Mhm.
If one of the things I did want to mention today with this discussion is that I find a lot of the time my self-care is reactive. And by that, I mean that
You
I
remember.
realize I've overdone it, and then I have to take a step back and do something.
And that's okay.
And one of the things that I want to incorporate in my life, and I encourage other people to do it, is to schedule self-care time. And just like it was a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, keep that appointment. Whether it's 20 minutes journaling or meditation, or take time every single day, whether it's 5 minutes even. Acknowledge yourself, take note of where you are, and give yourself something. And for me, if I'm having a bad day, I find affirmations, those I am statements. If I'm feeling, doubtful or fearful or whatever, I counteract that with some affirmations too.
Mhm.
And I think that if we incorporate that in our everyday, like you were talking about routines, if we incorporate some of those things that we find that we overdo ourselves with consistently, like take notice, just
Yeah.
be aware,
Yes.
and then be proactive about creating that self-care time.
That's awesome. I think this is the time where it's really appropriate for Felicia to walk us through a couple of minutes of meditation,
Yes,
Ooh.
absolutely.
because
So,
that would be lovely.
you know what for me works, Colleen? I was listening to you, what you do to snap out of that state, right?
Yeah.
For you is meditation, right? Or is, what did you say? I think it's pulling yourself down.
Affirmation. I do affirmations. Yeah, I do meditation, affirmations, and gratitudes. Like everything you guys have mentioned, at some point or another, has been like a strategy that I've used.
So what I find for me, the fastest way to snap out of a negative mindset or habitual way of thinking that is not really reflecting what we are talking about today about self-love and self-care
Yeah.
is movement. For me, it's
Yes.
movement. Like I
Yeah.
get up,
I forgot that too.
See?
even if I just sprint in one spot or I go for a walk, like a very fast paced walk, even in this cold, brutal weather, honestly, I'm energized and I just revive. You know, for me, it's that movement. That's why I work out regularly. I don't think I can possibly survive without it.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going back.
Okay, so Felicia, before you start your wonderful meditation, I want to read one last comment.
Sure.
Well, no, like I don't mean don't leave us any more comments. I'm just saying this is the last comment. I see Umar saying, I would love taking that on for sure. Love it. Self promise. The moment I wake up, I'm gonna shout out, I love my life.
I love my life. I love that too.
It makes sense. Sometimes we gotta shock the system to feel happy and get out of past and future and remind ourselves. Yes, thank you. And please let me know how that works out for you, Umar. That's awesome. Okay. Felicia, we are ready.
So how about we take a slow inhale? We count to 3 as we inhale. So we go 1, 2, 3, and exhale very slow and mindful. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now place your hands in your lap, or if you're standing, just roll your shoulder up and back, kind of. So you want to relax your body as much as you can. So think of nothing but just relaxing. And take one more deep breath. I generally like to start with inhaling as we count 3 up, and exhaling as we count as we exhale down. We exhale it more forcefully for 4 counts. Okay, so let's inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to take another couple of deep breaths, and I would like you to just place your tongue at the top of your mouth and consider just thinking of nothing but relaxation. Just think of something that will completely relax you. Imagine maybe even a golden thread coming in and expanding and feeling every inch of your cell, every inch of your body, of your mind. Very calming and kind of settling into your body, like a warm, sunny ray, let's say from a sun, that it's summer sun, powerful and beautiful heat coming and penetrating your being. So let's take another deep breath. Let's create an intention. Today, tonight, we've talked about self-care. To me, self-care is self-love. What's your intention with this meditation? Do you want to feel more relaxed? Do you want to feel the love of your creator or the love of your self for yourself? Do you want to feel peaceful? Do you want to feel energized? Whatever it is that your intention is, just think about it. Place your attention to that thought. I personally would choose love because I think it goes in line with this. But it doesn't matter what you choose. Whatever comes in your mind, honor it. And let's take another deep breath. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now think about one moment in your life when you felt loved. Try and imagine that moment as if you are in that moment right now. And please don't hold your breath. Continue breathing slowly, inhaling and slowly exhaling. Experience that love. Think about everything that happened in that moment to make you feel that way. Take another deep inhale and gather all the love that you felt. And as you exhale, share that love with everyone. Open up your hands, maybe do whatever makes you feel good. Imagine that you grab all the love that you felt in that wonderful moment. Inhale and grab it all. And as you exhale it, share it. And as you share it, feel that you're not sharing it with anybody, but everything. You are part of everybody. You are part of everything. So really, this this love is like unifying every single one of us. There's no difference between me and you, or the home we live in, the sky, the ocean, everything. It's just one unity, one peace, one love. Inhale again. Fill yourself with that love. And exhale it. And blend in. Blend in with everything that exists, everything that you are aware of in this moment. How does it feel to not feel separated? To not think that this love is only yours? Take another deep, deep breath, the deepest you can possibly. Force it. And exhale very deep. Now you can open up your eyes. Namaste. What do you guys think? How was it?
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love you.
I love you. All of you.
I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful meditation. It was just so on time. Thank you.
What did you experience?
Pardon?
What did you experience, Dela?
So you took me back to that moment of pure love that I felt, and so I could totally feel it. And as you said, breathe it in and then breathe it out and give it to everybody. I That was very connecting for me. That was very connecting for me, and I'm totally like relaxed right now. Tracy liked it. She says, "Holy cow, I'm so blessed." And she says, "Thank you." Girls, we are out of time, but I so appreciated being here with you again. This was fantastic talk. I think it was so necessary. So thank you for both. Thank you both for all your knowledge and experience, and just like your sharing, and you're just generous, both of you. You're just such generous souls. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Dela.
I know. Thank you, Dela. Thank you.
So our next show is March 18th. And we haven't decided what we're going to talk about. So if you have any any suggestions of topics you'd like to hear, let us know. And otherwise, we'll just come up with our own cool topic as we always do. And I want to thank all our viewers. Thank you so much for being with us and engaging with your comments. Thank you so much for the love you show us. And with that, this was a blast, Miss Felicia.
Thanks for sharing. Absolutely. So
Yes, thank you.
this is the butterfly effect, bringing you love,
hope,
and compassion.
Till next time, everybody.
Have a wonderful month.
Love to all. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.